You have now entered the lab. Elvis Escobar, Fort Sama, episode 101. Last week was episode 100. We had a lot of fun with that. Over almost close to 2.5 hours. We had about 9 or 10 people stop by. Appreciate everybody. Some were predetermined and talked about before we recorded. Some of them we were doing it live while we were recording. So we appreciate everybody for stopping by for whether it was 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or some people stopped by for 15, 20. So thank you for that. That was a fun celebration. I was out this weekend, and people that either know about our podcast and or have listened before or whatever showed some love to me, which I appreciate. Congratulations on 100. And like I said last episode, it's less about maybe what we put out in 100 represented doing it in two years, once a week, represented dedication and some type of creativity and committing to something that me and you have. So congratulations again to the guests, Fort Sama, this podcast, and everybody that's made it possible. But go ahead, Fort Sama.
Yeah, no, I think episode 100 was everything and more than what I was thinking it was going to be. Like you said, we had a bunch of people, whether they were at your crib live in the lab or they called in and hopped on. We had a lot of first-time people that hopped on. We had a lot of returning guests. I think that just goes to show how diverse and how, I don't know, how extra we are, I guess, in some kind of way.
Extra?
And, we don't do things as planned. We just kind of go with the flow. There's no rundown for this podcast. I mean, yeah, like Ben said, our sponsor in the episode 100, we have our notes. They're organized, but at the same time, it's not, hey, we're going to talk about this at this minute. We're going to talk about that at this minute. It's a good flow.
Yeah,
it's a conversation, but there's a structure to it with us, and I think we're the only ones that would understand that structure. If we explain it to someone else, they'd just be like, what the fuck? But I appreciate what we have. I love what we have. And dude, anything you do 100 times in a row is impressive. It doesn't matter what it is. Unless it's
hell yeah, I think
I don't know.
Listening back and editing it back, I did appreciate the flow of the podcast because, like I said, we didn't know who was going to be on for sure. There was a couple of people that hit us up like that said for sure they'll be on, didn't come on. So, whatever to you were busy. And then there were people that said they were be on that didn't confirm until we were like in the 90th minute. So we didn't know how it was going to flow. We hit play. We had some topics just in case we had to kill some time in between guests, but all the guests that were on provided some entertainment, some love, and some content in between that. So, like I said, it was awesome the way it flew. Flew. I don't know how you say that really, but I wanted to go over 2 hours. If there was any episode we went 2 hours, it was definitely that episode. So if you didn't listen to the episode 100, we don't have timestamps on that episode because I was not about to edit 2.5 hours of people popping in and out in topics. It would have been too long and a clusterfuck for me to do. So it was more like skip ahead on YouTube. You can actually see what's going on as you skip ahead on the YouTube app, as I do, because I watch YouTube all day long. Sponsors, Broward Vintage was on the podcast. Ben, he told a little bit, he shared a little bit of his story. We'll have him back up again. I'm going to try to hook him up with a nice setup in his lab at home so he could come back on the pod and spend some time, whether it's 20, 30 minutes with us. We'll talk some hoops, some news, and what he's got going on. But glad he was able to hop on. Broward Vintage, official sponsor of this podcast, Enter the Lab. The link is in the link tree in all the description. Just go on eBay and shop your Broward Vintage men's, women's, kids clothing. We post every single day on that account, so go check them out. And then unofficially, Billionaires Row. We'll try to have Billionaires Row people back on, see what they're up to. William Benson, Patrick Duckett. We'll try to see what they're going on, what's going on in their lives, business wise. I've seen Patrick meeting some heavy celebrities lately. So that'll be fun to have him on, see what his experience in life and business has been over the last year. But, what do you want to talk about? What is going on in your world? Obviously, we'll get into the NFL. For me, the NFL has been dying down. as the Giants have, it's basically RIP. And that's why I'm wearing my Daniel Jones shirt, because he might not either play a snap with us forever again. But other than the Dolphins, what's going on in your life? What's going on in life? We didn't get to, have a real formal or informal conversation last week with all the chaos. And I didn't really talk to you this week at all. First time I texted you really today was like the first dialogue we had, other than sending each other like tweets and pictures or whatever. We didn't really talk all week. So what's going on, brother?
No, man, I just, like usual, business as usual, busy, working, fucking trying to stay afloat, just trying to. A few episodes ago, we talked about this, and I was trying to figure out how to answer people's question, how are you doing today? With an answer instead of I'm doing good. Because, man, it's tough out here sometimes, bro.
So you're saying people that are like normally asking you the general question, what's going on? How are you? You're trying to like answer more detailed, or you're
not just detailed, just not I'm doing good or I'm doing well. The proper way.
Yeah.
No, I can't complain. Yeah. Because, man, it's tough out here for a pimp, bro. I feel so. I don't know what it is, man. I feel like the last, a month, I've just been trying to figure it out. I haven't really been myself. I don't have the same motivation, same rhythm, and same shit that I had 4 months ago, 3-4 months ago. I'm not sure what it is.
Come on back.
No, man, I can't do that just yet.
I know it's expensive out here to live, especially if you don't want to live at home.
In a few weeks.
Well, your birthday's in a few weeks, right?
It is.
Is it 30. The 24th? What is it, 30? 30th? What?
30,
your 30th.
Yeah, 30th. 30. I don't know how I feel about that, man. I don't have an answer for it.
You should feel a mixed emotions about it. And
which mixed emotions, though?
You should feel blessed and fortunate that you made it that far. You should feel a little bit of pressure that you need to make things, when you were 20, you had an idea of what your life would like to be in 10 years from now. And if it isn't, then you're like, all right, let's step my game up. But there's also things take time. The world, people are living longer than ever. Opportunities are always out there, especially us that live in Florida, or, in your situation, you have connects in Florida. So you'll always kind of have that connection. But, a mixed bag of, not you personally should feel, overall, you should feel fortunate and motivated. But it's a good step back to be like, where am I? Where should I be? Where I want to be? What I can improve? Because 30 is a big number. And then obviously, because from 30 to 40, that I think is that's the most monumental, in my opinion, of anybody's decade in anybody's life. I feel like from 20 to 30, you're just fucking things up. You're kind of almost ruining your life. You're learning, everybody's got a different learning curve. At 30, you hope to have some money saved, something you could call your own, some equity, some credit, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't, hey, you could work on that in the next few years and get it back. Obviously, knowing you personally, I think you have most of that handled. So overall, I think you should be looking at it as a little checkpoint, or a little gut check, or reality check.
Right. I feel like I need to go back and just do a pros and cons list and do another budget and kind of just reevaluate and start from the bottom up again, because I'm not at my lowest, especially like physically or I don't know. I'm not at my lowest. I've definitely been lower than where I am now and how I feel now, and I got out of it. So I know if I did it then, I could definitely do it now, because I have so much more that I learned. And people keep telling me, they're like, "Oh, your 30s are great, but your 40s are even better." I'm like, well, I don't know about all that.
Your 40s are only better if you do what you need to do in your 30s, for sure. That, and that I agree. I think I agree with that. Now, almost halfway in my 30s, I could be like, all right, in the next 5 or 6 years, I think I could do a lot more to make sure that my 40s are looking back like that. So I could agree with that statement, but you got to do a lot. You can't just sit around and wait for it. But that's why I think like 30s is always like, depends on where you are in life, where I know a lot of people turning 30 this year or the last couple of years. And I also know people that have been through it and they still remain the same shithead after they turn 30. So to each his own, and what you surround yourself with. But do you feel like you're still making a home in Savannah? You're still, trying to figure it out?
Yeah, I feel like I'm still definitely figuring it out. I've been figuring things out and kind of searching here and there to see what I can do and kind of just stacking up. And I just don't have time with everything that I do on a day-to-day basis I haven't really even been going to the gym. I think that's what it is.
I think that's what it is. I think you
really
get
been
that source of power from the gym for sure. Because when
I'm
you're in
just
your
so
best form,
fucking
when I talk to you,
cooked
yes.
from
Well,
day
yeah,
to day.
because it's hard to do what you're doing is hard because you're trying to put a lot more on your plate, where I think a lot of people could relate to what you're doing and trying to do. Is you have a full-time job, you have a part-time job, you have, what you want to do in life as a single adult, which you should have, obviously, to make sure that you're not, it's not all about working and coming home and going to sleep. And then you got the gym, and it's hard to do literally those 4 things: full-time, part-time, gym, and then extracurriculars. And you got to make sure your extracurriculars stay the same, because you want to have a life. You don't want to feel like you're waking up and then going to bed and all you did was work that day. Obviously you got to put the grind to it. I think we've all been through it. I'm lucky enough where I was foreseeing enough in my 20s where I did it to get it out of the way. And obviously it came to fruition over the last decade. I didn't know how it was going to work, but I thought, if I don't fuck around in my 20s, if I work hard and I sacrifice hanging out and doing all these things, which I did, and I'm glad I did, because I'm able to have a little bit more freedom in my 30s. But now, speaking of, in 2024, I do want to get back, because I feel like I've been in a rut, not laziness, but like content. I feel like I'm not at full strength when I feel content or secure or safe. And so I need to step my game up and get back on that grind. Obviously, the pandemic and the job change and all that, for me personally, I feel like I need to step up too, as far as my personal life, as far as getting that hustle back, getting that business vibe back.
Isn't that crazy though, that once you start feeling content and kind of in a rhythm, you feel the need that you need to pick it back up and do more?
Yeah, that's the flow of life,
But I don't think it should be that way though. I feel like it's bad.
Of course.
Once you get complacent, if you get complacent, it's bad. But I don't know if it's just crazy, because I feel like I'm doing a lot, right? But I'm stuck in the same spot.
It's like you're on a treadmill. You're doing a lot of work. I
feel like I'm in purgatory.
Not going anywhere.
I feel like I'm fucking purgatory, bro.
Yeah. I feel you.
I get to a spot where I'm like, okay, I'm about to get out of this, and then something happens, and I just take a step backwards, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that. Whether it's like that's not a dark place to be in. That's a tricky place to be in, because you use the word purgatory, because it's like you're either going to get worse or get better, and it's all up to you to do that, because you need to put action in, right? Thinking it and talking about it is one thing, and then putting that action towards it. So in my opinion, talking to you, because we haven't talked about this off record, that we're putting it on the record so all friends and viewers can listen. But I think if I'm giving you advice, I would say everything you have been doing since you have been going to the gym, make some adjustments, whether that means trying to go to bed early, wake up a little early, change up your routine. We all get stuck in routines. And I think I learned this from college about like management, because that's what I went to school for. And we talked about like routines. And Sometimes you need to like take a different route to work. You need to like do the smallest things in life sometimes really does open you up. You know, waking up an hour early or even 30 minutes early, it just changes your day. You know, instead of doing one thing during your day that you normally do, the same lunch break, what you do at lunch, like changing that up, what you eat. So it's like you got to break up the routine. I think if you're in a rut, that's what helps me. Anytime I'm in a rut mentally and physically or whatever, I just try to do something different. Immediately I feel better. But then it's all about, can you do that the next day? Can you do that the next day? And humans are creatures of habit and bad habit, more importantly. And you got to focus on the good habits.
Yeah, that's what I tell people every time. They're like, "Oh, what do you think you should do?" Or I'm like, "Yo, I need to do something dangerous. Like, I need to do something that's going to put my life at risk. Like, not in a crazy way, not in, I don't know. Maybe I need to go skydiving or some shit. I don't fucking
That's
know,
an
dude.
extreme, and we talked about
That is
this
an
on
extreme,
the
yeah.
pod.
And I don't like heights.
But why
I
don't
don't
we
like
start
heights.
somewhere? Why don't we start somewhere small where maybe you do something just slightly outside your comfort zone, meaning like break down what you usually be like, nah, I wouldn't do that. And obviously skydiving is like the kind of the real shakeup. But if you just, I don't like going, you know, for me, it would be like, for example, if I didn't, there's some things where it's like parasailing we could do in South Florida. That's not something I would do. But if I wanted to shake up my life, that might change my perspective and give me a little jolt. Be like, oh shit, I tried it, I did it. And I don't know what you could do in Savannah. I don't know what what you have, available to you. But I would start small first. If you want to go extreme and do it, then just fucking do it and don't talk about it. But I think there's a lot of things that you could do small that could get you on the right train and the right track to changing things up, because we definitely all fall into ruts. We definitely, every single person I know do it. You know, they'll feel great for a month or two, and it's like the monotony of life is tricky. It's and if you stay on that spinning wheel long enough, you start to go a little bit insane and you start to get into bad habits. I've been through it.
No.
I think everybody has.
Yeah, the monotony of life is definitely a true saying. I tell myself that all the time. And also I think it's with the stuff that I've been consuming and watching on a day-to-day basis, shit that normally I don't
That's true.
watch and I've just been taking in. No nasty shit for all you perverts out there. But just shit that's going on in the world, bro. Shit that's going on in the world, it's not good. That
Yeah.
I've kind of just fallen into a dark hole and been looking at things that I don't normally look at, and that shit's not normal, not something that I consume on a regular basis. And I just,
that algorithm will get you sometimes, brother.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's not my algorithm. It's
No?
outside of my algorithm. Yeah, I don't have that kind of stuff on my algorithm normally. I've just been fucking searching for it.
Ooh,
my algorithm sucks, by the way.
Yeah.
My algorithm sucks. My fucking,
A lot
I don't
of
even
butts,
know,
a lot
man.
of boobs, and a lot of fights.
That shit's trash, dude. I hate it. I don't even know how to change it. Like, it's terrible. I don't know if you can. You can't, man. You can't, because they just fucking give it to you. Like, that's what they want you to see.
Maybe shutting down. Obviously, you got Instagram and Twitter. Maybe shutting down or pausing or deleting the app. You don't have to delete your account. You could delete the app of one of those for maybe a day. Shit, you do it for a day. They do it for 2 days. I'm probably close to doing that. Maybe I'll try
I've
that.
Thought about it.
At the end of the year.
I've thought about it, man. Honestly, like really, I really have thought about it, and it's just tough because I'm so used to it, man. It's crazy, like how dependent we get on this fucking social media shit, and especially with us, with doing the pod, we have to kind of stay up to date with stuff that's going on with social media. So I feel if I'm not on it, I'm going to lose something that could have been funny, could have been important, could have been good content for that day. Maybe it's Instagram. Maybe I got to definitely get rid of Instagram, because
one of the
Twitter's
two,
not
for
as
sure.
bad. Twitter's not as bad, or X is not as bad. I feel like X is definitely more informative, and I follow better people on there. I could just get rid of Instagram for a few days and see what's up and not have to worry about it.
No, you're right. I follow, and
there's nothing of substance that comes from there.
Literally, I don't learn I learn a 10th on Instagram, or I like
I'm just seeing
totally interested
all I'm
on
seeing
Instagram
on
than I am on
Instagram is
Twitter.
shit that I'm not fucking doing.
Yeah, that's what you usually see, right? Like that's kind of the vibe. That's what
Like
Instagram is
places
for.
I'm
It's
not
the show.
going, cars I'm not driving,
Hoes you're not having
bitches
sex
I'm
with.
not having sex with.
Yeah, I mean, not for me. I'm speaking for you, obviously.
No, I know, but we said that shit. No, but no,
No,
seriously,
you're right.
in all seriousness. So I feel like a cleanse, and I feel like also I need to do like a body cleanse too. Mike and I talked about it, doing a juice cleanse. It's just getting shit out of my system. Because bro, I can't breathe out of both my nostrils. I can't remember the last time I was able to breathe through both my nostrils.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing extracurriculars. Maybe I need to. Maybe who the fuck knows?
No, don't do that. Don't compound the problem here. Let's not compound it. Let's stay on the right path.
I really don't know.
Interesting. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as he chugs a Modelo.
Shit, I hope so.
If you guys have any comments, if you guys have a story to share,
let me know.
Comment or let us know. Please wild card comments.
Wild card, who are you?
It's like the magics of life is in the work you don't want to do. And that's true. And I know you believe that with the gym, and you did that every day, or you do that every day, and that's not something eventually you could fall into a rut of going to the gym too. You just plateau, as they say. It's just like you go there every day mindless. It becomes mindless at the end of the day, and you just work out and you do the usual routine, and it becomes even going to the gym and working out hard and doing well physically could still be a mental like lull in your life. So I've been there before. Yeah. That's why I'm not a fan of the gym, because it is very, especially if you go alone, it's the same routine, and you could do good for a month or two or 3 months, and you still fall into a little bit of rut. So I try to
I keep telling myself that I've lost like motivation, and I don't know what was motivating me before. I'm not sure what it was that was driving me to do the things that I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to find another source of motivation. I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know what it was. I don't know what I'm looking for, dog. Like, I really don't. And it's scary.
I feel you.
It's scary because I'm about to reach another point in my life, or at least that's what society wants you to think. Like, hey, you're 30, you should have this, and that in order. And that's what I always thought when I was like,
don't
18,
do that either,
19,
though.
Growing up.
Don't do that either.
That, I was gonna have this. I was gonna have a house. I was gonna, have a kid with a nice wife or whatever the case may be. But I don't have that. And I'm not saying that I'm upset about it or it's something that weighs me down, but I need to find something that's going to push me more than I was being pushed last year. Because last year I was good. I was locked in and doing what I wanted to do. I was dedicated to what I wanted to do and what I appreciated. But now I'm just like, dude, I don't want to do shit.
Yeah, no, that's real.
I don't want to do shit, dog.
Everybody can.
I keep telling. Who did I tell? I told Kiki Kirsten the other day. I was like, yo, I just need to self-induce myself into a coma.
Now you're thinking bad things.
No, bro, not just sleep for a week.
Well, why don't you? I know usually you when you take time off and
I called off work yesterday. I called off work yesterday because I wasn't feeling, dude. I woke up early to watch the Dolphins game, and I was feeling like shit. I was clogged up. Just my head was killing me. Everything in the book. I called off, and all I did was sleep. After the Dolphins game ended, I watched a little bit of the 1:00 game. I fell asleep. Slept till like, I don't even know, 7 p.m. And I woke up. And then after halftime of the fucking Bills-Bengals game, I fell back asleep.
Yeah. I get it. Are you one of those like
I'm fucking boring everybody with this fucking I don't know.
No,
I'm venting right
I don't think you personally. I don't think you are. I think our best episodes are just us being human, us having that back and forth as if we're texting or FaceTiming, which we do often, and we just have a conversation. I think those are the best podcasts I listen to, whether it's Rogan, whether it's something random, although the people that we're not trying to like force a conversation. We're not setting up a conversation. We're not trying to do anything manipulative to the topic. We're not trying to do things for clicks or to go viral. We're just having a genuine conversation. And I think, I don't know, wild card Chris. That's who Chris is.
Hey, do you feel when you take Zinn's unpaid sponsor, unsponsored sponsor, do you feel like Zinn's like wake you up? Like they give you like a little adrenaline boost, a little like pick me up type of deal?
Yeah, wake me up. No, adrenaline. No, it gets me more like your boy said on. I heard that clip of who was on
Tucker Carlson and Theo Vaughn.
Yeah, what did he say? He said it perfect. If you want to pull that out, that'd be great. Actually, if you have a clip of that, if you could.
Dude, I watched that. I had to watch it in a few different times because it was a longer episode. But dude, I love Theo Vaughn, man. I could watch Theo Vaughn and listen to him.
Yeah, he's funny. I like how he doesn't care what he says. He's very relatable. He's a genuine conversationalist. As he says some wild stuff, but like it keeps you entertained the whole way. I like somebody like him and Bill Burr. I like to listen to one-on-one when he's just one-on-one with himself, and he's just in his thoughts. Nobody else is kind of like leading the conversation. He could just go off on tangents. I love that because that's how my brain operates. I jump around from thought to thought, decision to decision, and some of it makes sense. Most of it doesn't. But I'm able to at least think it out. Wildcard, Chris. I know a couple Chris's, so I don't know who you are, Wildcard.
Yeah, I know a couple Chris's as well.
Shout out Wildcard, Chris. But we still don't know who Fender Bender is. Maybe that's Fender Bender and another
hasn't
alias.
Been on in a little bit.
In a while, right? Yeah, maybe R.I.P. Fender Bender.
I hope he's doing good.
Hope he or she. Shout out Dylan joining us.
Right.
Yeah, I remember it really well.
Yeah.
It was delicious. And my father smoked and he smoked unfiltered cigarettes called Pall Malls. We called them Pall Malls.
Oh, yeah.
Pall Malls. But they were extra long, flavored with licorice, I think made by the American Tobacco Company. Great cigarette in a red pack. And we had many. So that's, I don't even know if there's a picture of he smoked.
I used to sell that in the deli that you worked for.
No.
That right
Did
there.
You?
That's the cigarette of
the
my
most
childhood.
quality human
He
wouldn't
picked him
buy
up in
those
the Marine
cigarettes. I'll
Corps
tell
when
you
he
right
was
now.
17. I guess they came in his K ration, and that was the cigarette of my childhood. And there was always one smoldering in an ashtray in our kitchen and everywhere else. Anyway, but I was like, he wasn't embarrassed because he really 13.
He was at the house.
It was in the 80s. No, yeah.
You could smoke as a child at school.
Oh yeah, I had parental permission. Yeah.
Really?
I shouldn't be saying this. It's what's so funny? People would be like, "Yeah, I did ayahuasca or DMT," and everyone's like, "It's so cool." It's like, "Yeah, I smoked a cigarette." It is. It will probably get me.
Oh, back in the day,
bad
that
fig
wasn't
Newtons,
weird.
consistent.
Motherfuckers smoking
That's a good
cigarettes on
point.
planes.
The payoff is always there. Because they might grant cigarette and
I'm trying to get to the
Make
part
how
where
I'll do with it.
Why don't we?
You could probably tell. Oh, there you go.
Good.
I think it's got the highest smoking rate of any state. Make me nervous. I'm going to grab another Zin. Do you mind?
God, I almost want to do one, but I just don't know how I'll do with it.
Why don't we wait until we're about to close because things may happen to you that you're not ready for.
Ease your way into it.
But
he said he usually do the 3s.
It gets wild in a subtle way. It kind of grows on you. It's not like doing cocaine.
Okay.
It's not like firing up the pipe.
I like this.
You know what I mean? Blast off or anything like that. It's a much more subtle, organic. You just all of a sudden you feel good.
Yeah.
Then you feel the power rising from your central nervous system, and then sort of going outward through all the nerve endings down to the tips of your fingers.
Very true.
Yeah.
And then up here, it just starts crackling the synapses. And you just make connections that you hadn't before. I know I'm making it sound like ayahuasca.
And it's temporary, just kind of like you said,
try this?
like a drug, like a cocaine, where it's temporary, but you get
Zin?
that.
Is that their advertising campaign?
Zin is not a sin. That's the advertising campaign.
Really?
Yeah, but the truth is,
have you seen the Zin commercials?
Powerful work enhancer.
No,
and
I don't think I have.
A male enhancer, if you know what I mean.
Really?
Yeah.
Talking erection, huh?
Oh,
yep. There's no election for the Zin.
Wow.
doing your thing. Respect.
I don't know if I want a Zen supported wiener. I don't know.
I think you do.
You think so? Oh yeah, because you want people to get addicted to
Just
it.
close your eyes.
Oh, damn.
All right, that's enough of this. But
And Wildcard says, you got a Zin, are they good? For me personally, and we've talked about this on the pod, I've never smoked cigarettes. I don't smoke. I never did chewing tobacco. So doing a Zin was more out of curiosity, and I wanted to see what it was about. And I did it a few times, and I actually 10 episodes ago, I did it for the first, not probably for the third time, but I was a little bit too sober and I got like heat flash and it wasn't good. I was battling through it. Nobody knew when we were recording what I was going through, but it wasn't well. And I only enjoy it personally. And those are 6s when I first started. So I learned go to the 3s because that's a lot for a non-smoker, a non-nicotine user. I only do it. I do maybe 3 or 4 packs a week, usually on the weekends when I'm drinking or on the podcast.
You mean the pouches, not 3 or 4 of the cans?
No, 3 or 4 of the pouches.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good.
I was about to say, bro, what you got going on?
Yeah, no, I don't do it on a random Tuesday in the afternoon. I tried that. I don't enjoy it. It gives me too much of a rush. Something I think in my body, and everybody's body is different, where my body only responds good to it. I think when I'm not sober or drinking a little bit, it gives me a little boost, but I haven't got the hot flashes in a while. Obviously my body's gotten used to, I think, the product, but yeah, it's
your brother.
I'm not addicted. I don't have an addictive personality. My brother?
Yeah, it's your brother.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay. So you changed up the name. Shout out, Chris. Cool. So yeah, I don't know what your experience, but I don't fiend for it on a Wednesday randomly.
No.
When I drink, I enjoy doing 2 a night. That's it. Like I'm not packing it for the whole night. Like the other day on Saturday, I packed 2 at a party and that was it. Like that was it for the night. I was drinking
at the same time.
No, 2. Like I did one at like 8 and I did another at like 10 and that was it. Like that's all I need. Just to give myself a little boost.
Keep it in for? Pause.
I Googled stuff and it said you should probably only keep it in for 30 minutes. So I just packed one 15 minutes ago. So I'll probably take it out in 10.
Yeah, no, the first one I did fucked me up and it was a 3 milligram and I felt like a bitch, but like,
yeah, no, they do fuck you up in the beginning.
I shouldn't have. And I think it was because it's the mint one. Like when you taste when you chew like a mint gum or you take like a mint, the mint already gives you like, it goes already to like your brain and it has a weird like flavor to it or whatnot. So you mix the mint with the nicotine, it was just added extra. I was doubling up. And I got the 3 milligram because I'm like, there's no way I'm doing 6. And people kept buying them at the gas station. People were always buying them. It's like out of the nicotine stuff, besides like swishers and shit, we sell ZYNs the most. It's fucking wintergreen, grizzly wintergreen, and fucking ZYNs.
Especially for the blue collar working man, when it's like when you're doing some labor and shit and you can't take cigarette breaks every hour or 30 minutes, it makes sense to like, if I was a cigarette smoker, I could understand getting that hit of nicotine and making it for an hour or whatever. I understand that. But like I said, I put my body through addictive behavior. It's a weird thing, a weird challenge. I told somebody this recently where I constantly put myself through an addictive thing, whether it's like coffee, which I took all of 2022 off. I drank coffee since I was 13 years old, basically, and almost every day. I probably was drinking coffee every day when I was 16. So 15 years, 17 years, whatever. I just stopped. And I like to constantly put my body through like, all right, you don't need it. You can get through it.
Were you drinking other caffeine?
For the first 6 months, nothing. And then after 6 months, I was drinking tea, not because I needed a caffeine hit, because tea has some caffeine in it, whether it's green tea or whatever. But I was doing tea more like as a health thing, so it wasn't like I was using. So the first 6 months, 100% nothing, not energy drinks, no coffee, didn't get headaches. My body was able to adapt very quickly, but I did like tea at the second half of the year, just to give myself like, Bree makes tea a lot and healthy tea. So I was just drinking teas in the morning. I wasn't drinking it all day to try to get a buzz or anything. I wasn't chasing a high. And ZYN is something probably in a month or two that I might stop. I might not. I don't know. But I know my body, I know I don't need it every single day, because there's days during the week I don't even think about it.
Yeah, I never got into cigarettes because, as you know, and as a lot of people that probably listen to this podcast know, I was raised in a very religious childhood, and smoking and drinking is like some of the worst things you can do. So
Oh, I know. I had to hide drinking at your crib once.
Yeah, smoking cigarettes. I remember when I turned 18, I bought a pack of Marlboro Reds. I didn't know what the fuck any kind of cigarettes were. Like Marlboro is like the main one. It's they show all
Reds.
places.
That's a
yeah, bro. I didn't fucking know the difference.
Yeah, of course.
You know, now I find out that they got Marlboro Reds, they got Marlboro Lights, Marlboro Ultra Lights, Marlboro Menthol Lights, Ultra Menthol Light, all this shit, bro. So smoking cigarettes was a no. If I smoked a cigarette, I would smell like it, and my mom and dad would find out. And then I tried chewing tobacco one time, and that shit was disgusting. Nasty as fuck. I'll never try that shit again. I almost threw up.
I think I almost, right before Zin, I almost wanted to try chewing tobacco. Only, like I said,
do it.
I'm not going to, but I almost did.
Tobacco,
and then I figured out Zin was a thing. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to do chewing tobacco. That's nasty.
Yeah.
So I'll try this. That's why I tried it. Because I just want, like I said, I'm living life. I don't care. I know who I am. I know I could stop anything. So it was like, I'm going to try it and I enjoy it. You know, I don't abuse it. Everything in moderation.
What got me into chewing tobacco is baseball. Because all the players are fucking.
Yeah, it's big into baseball. Yeah.
Are they still doing that? I don't see many ball players doing.
Well, it got outlawed where, like, I think.
Oh, did it?
I think ever since Tony Gwynn died. I think before Tony Gwynn died, or right around that time, which was like, I think 5 years ago, let's call it 8 years ago, maybe 5. It was like almost not outlawed, but it was more like frowned upon, like don't show it off, don't put it in your pocket, don't make it known that you're doing it. And then I think when he passed, Tony Gwynn was such a great baseball player, and he died literally. That was his cause of death, was
like mouth
cancer of the mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's when baseball started cracking down. Like, all right, we can't be losing baseball players to like tobacco. But I do see to this day, this season, I have seen, you know, when a guy has a big lip, and then you can see it in his back pocket. So I think they don't promote it. They don't show it. I think it's one of those things where do not show that you're doing it, and we don't have a problem. I think that's what it is with baseball, because they'll never really know, you know, if you have a lip full, unless they investigate you. But I don't think they're going to do anything crazy if you do.
That'd be such a shitty thing to investigate someone about and waste resources on.
Yeah, I think it's one of those gray area things, though, that they're not going to really crack down unless you make it obvious.
Have you tried other like nicotine pouches, or is Zin the only one you've tried?
Yeah, Zin's the only one I've tried.
Yeah, fair. I've had conversations with people about different ones because, you know, working in the gas industry, you got like 5
of course
ones that you can buy. But I think the 3 milligram for now, like, just when was it? Today's Monday, Friday. We had a few deliveries at work, and I was kind of like, after doing the few deliveries, driving back, I was kind of like feeling a little down, just like getting a little sleepy, you know. So I was like, let me pop a Zin. So I popped the Zin, and like 2 minutes later, I was like, good, ready to go, like more so awake, and kind of what Tucker said, that, you know, it just goes through your nervous system and through your fingers and shit like that. So I feel exactly like what Chris just said. Small doses. I think small doses of nicotine can definitely help. You don't want to get addicted to it. You don't want to be like, yo,
and that's the trouble with that's the trouble with vapes. They're so convenient, where it's like a cigarette are in a way inconvenient in many ways. The smell, and then you got nowadays you have to go outside. You have to plan ahead. Vapes, it's like most of the time you could, you know, vape in the car, you could vape in here, you could vape where you work, and that's equally as dangerous because you're probably consuming double or triple, and nobody has, we don't have the research to back up what vapes, right? Vapes are only new in the last 10 years, barely 10 years, with different products being out there, and we don't have the same thing that cigarettes produce, where, you know, for 50 years we had no research, and then they figured out, like, whoa, this is really bad, let's chill. And now you don't see any advertising. You don't see commercials about it. It's weird. You don't see commercials about smoking cigarettes.
You'll see the opposite.
But you'll see more commercials about alcohol, which is so mind-blowing. And the hypocrisy of America is that exactly. When you have to talk about, like, capitalism, which is fine in my book, but when you talk about, like, what's wrong and right, the fact that we could outlaw tobacco use and cigarettes commercially and marketing, whatever, because it used to be like on logos, on commercials, Joe Cool, Camel, all that got outlawed. in America. And then all of a sudden, but you could have all the commercials about liquor, alcohol, and that definitely ruins people's individual lives more. And also ruins households, relationships, everything. And we all see it. We all have friends, family, whatever, maybe ourselves. That's obvious. It's so weird to me that you could outlaw or get rid of the commercialization of tobacco and cigarettes, but then like alcohol is free reign. It's because tobacco companies, they lied very early on. Do your research. They lied. They went to whatever Congress, and they got caught lying, and then now you're stuck on that. So alcohol, I don't think has been ever a lie about health. We all know from day one what it's done to you, and it was outlawed in the 1920s, and prohibition and all that. And it's just wild to me that kind of market and that in those two industries, how one can thrive and be on every Super Bowl commercial. You can watch every television show on network TV, and they're going to advertise, beer and alcohol or liquor. And it's just crazy to me. It's mind blowing. I think they should both be treated equal. I think both of them shouldn't openly be promoted. But then again, in America, we promote
too much money
medications.
Involved.
Yeah, way too much money. But there's a lot of money in tobacco. But like I said, I think tobacco companies, they fucked up. They lied too much. They try to get away with it, and that's what fucked up. So
have you seen the movie Thank You for Smoking?
Is that what I've seen the movie with what's his name from Gladiator?
Who, Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe. He has a movie on the exact thing I'm talking about, where the tobacco companies were brought up, and he was playing the role of the main guy to lie in front of, whatever Congress or whoever it was. I'm going to try to look it up. Russell Crowe. It was in the early 2000s. Maybe I could find it real quick. I watched it one time, and I got to rewatch it if anybody knows what it is. But they used to smoke everywhere and anywhere. And there's a movie. Let's see,
a clip for it.
Of that movie I'm talking about, or you're talking about?
The movie the one that I'm talking about. Thank You for Smoking. It's with. Damn, I can't pull it up, but here.
Just like a John Grisham novel.
It's a book, too. I didn't know it was a book.
Most importantly, we've got spin control. That's where I come in. I get paid to talk.
It's with Harvey Dent.
I don't have an MD or law degree. I have a bachelor's in kicking ass and taking names. You know that guy who can pick up any girl? I'm him on crack.
This is obviously a heated issue, and we do have a lot that we want to cover today. Nick, do you have a question?
Joan, how on earth would Big Tobacco profit off of the loss of this young man? Now, I hate to think in such callous terms, but if anything, we'd be losing.
This might get taken down.
It's not only our hope, it's in our best interest to keep Robin alive and smoking.
That's ludicrous.
Let me tell you something.
So, the movie I'm talking about, I just found it. Russell Crowe, The Insider, 1999. It's available to watch on Apple TV, Vudu, YouTube, if you want to buy it. But that's a good movie about, like, he was in the industry and they wanted him to lie and all the things that go into it. It's pretty cool to realize, just like the prohibition and back in that time whenever that took place, the industry's corrupt and all that.
Do you think we'll get to that point again? Prohibition?
Of
do you
what?
think that'll ever happen again?
Yeah, of course. I think right now we're in, like, with some of the things in drugs, we're in reverse prohibition, where, like, we watch weed become, 50 years ago, we watch it be called dope and a gateway drug. Now all of a sudden, rich people are smoking weed. In the NBA, testing for it is outlawed. NHL, it's outlawed. It's used as a medication for cancer and all that, which is great. And that's what it is. And I don't think we're seeing, since we've been outlawing it or making it legal in some states, we've seen progression in that industry. And I think it's good because the state makes money, the Fed make money, and people get to smoke weed. So with other drugs, I think it'll happen too. I think psychedelics will be next. I think that's something that we could.
They already decriminalized
Yeah.
psychedelics and a lot of stuff.
Yeah, on a small level, but I'm
over
talking
the
like
West-
bigger level. Like
US
obviously it
West.
always starts small, but I mean like marijuana is like super commercial. You could talk about marijuana on like ESPN and it's
Yeah, a lot of jobs don't even test for marijuana anymore.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh,
and that's a
just wanna
big
make
deal.
sure
Like
you're not
that's
on
how you
crack.
know that's how you know it's really progressed. And I think we'll see that little by little because there are benefits from the natural stuff. It's the other things that once the government tries to figure out how much money they can make and what it will look like on the government, but that's a whole nother, we could do a whole episode on this. One thing I did want to bring up, as we get into the 46 minute of this episode, I did see news this week. Not sure how real it is because I've seen things like this talked about in the state of Florida, but it hasn't come to fruition. Seminole tribe of Florida is set to launch sports betting, roulette, and craps in their casinos across Florida next month, meaning end of the year, December. Sports betting, I don't know how that's going to work, if they're going to do an app or you could only probably do sports betting on site. You probably have to go to the casino to sport bet, and then that's when it's legal. I don't think it's going to become available immediately. I think when people saw that news, I think people interpret it in Florida as like, I think they're going to launch an app and have it readily available. I don't think that's the case. I haven't done my research too much into it. If you have, let me know. But I think all that, what I just said, will be more legal in-house so they can make money off you directly. I don't think it's going to be an app. I don't think it's going to be too easy to go ahead. You can read the article if you like.
So we did have the Hard Rock sports book app up for a little bit, and there's turmoil or debates with the Seminoles and all that kind of stuff going on. So they weren't supposed to launch it, but they said fuck it and launched it anyways. Don't quote me on that. Do your own research. But this is by Ryan Yousefi. I used to follow him on Twitter. I think that's Rizmigiz, if I'm not mistaken. This was November 4th, so 2 days ago. Seminole tribe leaders have announced plans to introduce sports betting at their Florida casinos in December. This move follows a legal dispute lasting more than 2 years, which stemmed from a 2021 agreement allowing the Seminoles to offer online sports betting across Florida and to add craps and roulettes to their casino. The agreement permitted the Seminole tribe to accept online sports bets statewide, so long as the bets are received on servers on tribal land. But they recently announced expansion is limited to in-sports betting, like you said. At their 6 Florida facilities, as a petition challenging the broader online betting issue is sorted in the Florida Supreme Court. As it stands, Seminoles will start offering sports betting, craps, and roulette at 3 other tribes' South Florida casinos on December 7th. That's my grandpa's birthday, RIP. That's Pearl Harbor Day. The Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tampa will follow suit on December 8th, and the tribe's casinos in Immokalee and Brighton on December 11th. So, I mean, I think it's going to be good. Obviously, it's going to bring more money in to the state of Florida. I just hope it's, I don't know. I mean, gambling is always hit or miss. So, but I'm all for it. I think it's just going to help Florida out. And I love betting. I had to stop. Betting. I was addicted to that shit. You're muted.
First of all, I said shout out Alex Pica. Appreciate you.
Shout out.
That's another thing that I think is complicated in the state of Florida with the Seminoles and the natives and betting and watching Killers of the Flower Moon with the oil, and then the oil turned into one thing where they transition into, I think they agreed to casinos and having that, not pay the taxes and being able to profit off that. It's more complicated in the state of Florida. So we'll continue to see progression in that. And that's a very interesting thing because someone's missing out on making a lot of money, and I think the natives just don't want to miss out on that again. So I think that's why they're making sure that this doesn't come out where the quote unquote white man makes all the money and they make a very small percentage. I think that's what's happening, right?
Yeah, it's always about money, and we've steadily discussed this on this podcast. Things can make the perfect sense in our minds, and everything can look good, but if the money doesn't line up how it should, then it's not going to go through. But dude, if somehow they could, it's only going to be a matter of time before you can legally bet at the stadium. You're not going to have a stadium sponsored by the Hard Rock and you can't gamble there. They're going to put a casino in the Hard Rock. And if they haven't thought of it, well, this is your cue. This is your go-to to put a casino in the fucking Hard Rock Stadium, because why wouldn't you? I mean, fucking Live nightclub is there.
Yeah, I think the complication with that is like the timing of it, because obviously you have in live time betting, so it does get complicated when you're at the game. They got to refresh live bets so quickly. So I think the technology's got to link up and they got to delay it. So like if you're at the game and like right now I'm watching Panthers, Columbus 3-3, 19 minutes to go. And you're like, all right, they got the momentum. Panthers, they got a penalty. You see the penalty happen. You go on the app and you bet the Panthers to win because of the probability. And it's like the app's got to like, the Wi-Fi's got to be good. The app's got to be quality, because that's where you get complicated, where if you're at the game live, you could just live bet things. And I think they're trying to figure out the technology in order to delay. And it happens with the Underdog app. You can't.
That's a good point, because when just last year when I was at UFC Fight Night in Orlando, we were watching the fights and our book was delayed. So we were like, yo, let's fucking just, why the fuck not? You know, we're seeing it before the book. We're ahead of the book. We're here. We're right there in person. You know, and yeah, no, it can get a little tricky that kind of way. But I think there's already like certain stadiums and arenas that have in-person betting. And I know you've been there. The Hard Rock doesn't have that great of service. I don't know if it's just me the few times I've been there, but as of the few times I've been there, the service isn't the best.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to with the live betting, with the service and Wi-Fi. I think if you're gonna have live betting, you have to have amazing Wi-Fi, and asking for that quality of service for anywhere from 20,000 in a NBA, NHL arena to 40 something in a MLB stadium to 70, 60 in a NFL stadium. That's a lot. So it'll be interesting to see how they come up with that technology. And I think that's what's keeping them from doing it. And then the other part of it is legality and how do we market it, and collective bargaining, and how do the players get maybe more? Because if the NBA and NFL make more money off this, the players want a piece. So it's a lot of people that don't know the business end of sports are like, oh, why don't we just make it legal? Why don't we just do this? It's like, it's a lot more complicated when you have billions and millions of dollars flowing in every game, every week, every month into a season, and who's going to get a piece of the pie and how we divide it up and how do we make it fair, because both sides are going to go back and forth that they want more. So that's why it hasn't become a thing. Like that's pretty black and white. Let's see. Another topic. Let's see. Did we bring up last time, speaking of money, did we bring up last episode because it was so crazy? Self-checkout machines asking for tips. Did we bring that up? No. Self-checkout machines. We talk about it. Maybe we did before. If we did, we'll talk about it briefly. But I'm a big self-checkout guy for many reasons. Try to take advantage when you can, whether it's down here in Publix, Walmart, Target, Sam's Club. You know, if you're gonna give me the ability to the checkout, self-checkout, there might be some human error involved, if you know what I mean. So the fact that this came out, self-checkout machines, I don't know if it's somebody trying to troll or trying to just make a headline so people click on it. But you ever go to a restaurant or like Five Guys and you order a meal and you try to check out and the cashier wants, ask for the tip? I usually give a couple bucks because hopefully it goes to them directly and maybe it goes to the staff overall. So I'm not thinking the cashier only gets it. I'm hoping that when I give my $2-3 on top of my meal, that goes to the whole staff because they're making what, $8 to $12 an hour and they're fucking working hard as fuck in a fast food restaurant or in a restaurant in general. So what do you feel about, nice fucking Cam Johnson. What do you feel about self-checkout machines, self-checkout in general, and tipping people that probably don't deserve it? Because tips becoming a thing. I also did see that I forgot what food delivery service, they're not going to deliver your meal unless a tip is involved or something. That's a little crazy.
That was DoorDash.
Yeah, what's your feeling on that in general, that industry demanding tips? Love to hear your opinion on this.
I actually worked at this delivery place down in South Florida in Boca when I lived there. It was a little part-time gig I had. It was delivery dudes. I don't know if they're still around. I'm sure they are.
I haven't heard of them in a while.
It was a pretty laid-back job. You could do it with your own car. You kind of just did it. You went in, you picked your own schedule. If you want to do breakfast 1, breakfast 2, dinner 1, dinner 2, it didn't really matter. And they would just send you emails and you would go pick up the food and drop it off. And if people didn't tip, you would report that and they would call the customer. I never did. I mean, I still got paid an hourly. I think it was like $4 an hour, but most of my money was made off of like the status of the deliveries, how fast I did it, and of course my tips. Mm-hmm. But people would report, hey, they didn't tip a certain amount. They didn't tip the 15%. They didn't tip whatever. And they would call that customer and be like, hey, you got to tip our drivers. If you don't tip our drivers, we're just going to put you on this list and we're not going to deliver to you. And I guess in some certain way, if you're using that service over and over again, you're kind of, I don't want to say relying on it, but you are relying on it. And you kind of have to tip. It's just as if you're
it's a part of going out to same way. I guess it's part of going out to a restaurant. Like
100%.
We've talked about this. Like 18 is the bare minimum. 20% should be what it is, and then anything else if they're extraordinary, because these people are not working for a lot of money. Yeah, they might make a lot of money collectively, but you also have to think about those large parties, and we know some grimy people, and we've seen on social media and personally where people just like go to restaurants and they already predetermined no matter how hard this person works, they're not tipping. And that's fucked up. And that's what they try to protect, is those losers that you're going out to dinner. You don't have to go out to dinner.
I shouldn't have to be responsible for the bad apple.
You shouldn't be, but I understand making sure that people are covered and protected in a way. You're right. You shouldn't be responsible for overpaying if you don't need to, but everybody's just got to do their part. People that never worked in the service or sales or anything, those people don't understand. Like if you worked in the service industry or in sales, you understand how important tips are. Like whether you make a lot of money or a small amount, it doesn't matter.
Sales is a little different though. Sales, you're making commission. So I think
in a way, like if commissions aren't good, somehow the tip, and it depends on where you work and how you work, the tip could be the difference in that sale being a little bit decent. Like I said,
yeah, if someone tipped me in a sale, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that more.
Because you're doing customer service and the sale part. So you're you're wearing both hats usually. So like you could make an argument where the sale part, you could, you're making a commission. You don't know how much that person's making, but they're also doing the customer service in the front end. And then if you have an issue on the back end, they're probably going to have to take care of you again.
100%. So, yeah, I had to learn that. But
yeah, you know that.
If if you're using a self-checkout, you're already doing half the job. So
no tips.
So tipping on a self-checkout, no. If I'm at a restaurant, most restaurants aren't really using self-checkout that I've seen yet, but they will turn that tablet around and they'll ask for a tip. And I don't want to say I feel inclined to do it, but they're making my food especially if I go there often, I don't want to be known as that person. Oh, this motherfucker again. We know he's not going to tip us, you know? Oh,
Yeah,
this.
especially-
I want to be known as a person that tips well. Hey, he tips us well, so let's take better care of his order. Let's make sure his food is good, well prepared, and quickly out.
Mhm.
I look them in their eyes while I punch the no tip. Yeah, it depends, man. It depends. Like if I'm going to McDonald's, bro, I'm not fucking tipping. If I'm going to Taco Bell, I'm not tipping. You know, I'd rather just give someone like, here's $1, here's $2, here's $3. You know,
Yeah.
if I feel like they did a decent enough job for a fast food place. But if I'm going to like, if Chipotle starts asking me for tips, I'm gonna be like, nah, fuck you, bro. Half your time your shit isn't even working. You don't even have this or you don't even have that. You're giving me less rice. You're rationing the fucking rice, dog.
Rationing.
I get into
As if it's-
I get into arguments with these people, bro.
You're the one asking for
sometimes.
more meat when you only paid for single meat.
No, not that. No, because I'm not gonna, dude. Like double chicken is half of what it normally costs. I'm not gonna ask for double shit. I'm
I
gonna
don't
ask
go
for
to
more
Chipotle
rice and more
anymore.
beans. I'm gonna ask for more rice and more beans. I told someone that, and like they told me that the camera monitors them, and if they're giving out more food than they're normally
It could
supposed
be.
to, they get in trouble.
I can believe that companies are trying to crack down on people over giving, and that's it's waste
Yeah,
to the company.
because it
I
goes
get
it goes back to the main thing, profit.
Yeah.
Spending over profit. So
And companies
Yeah, I get it.
ewevaluate where we're losing money instead of firing these people. They got to look at where they could cut costs, and if they could cut costs at you're giving too much money, giving too much food out, that's something they could cut.
if it's mom and pop, I'll tip. Yeah, 100%.
No, mom
card.
and pop always. Shout out Alex
Bree said-
Pika for running a mom and pop, Dominic's in Bay Ridge Pizza Shop.
Nice.
Quality
McDonald's-
pizza, quality people. Go check them out
Yeah.
if you're ever in Brooklyn.
Bree said McDonald's is a multi-billion-dollar industry. We shouldn't have to fucking tip. They need to pay their workers. Yes and no. Yes and no. I agree that they should pay their workers, but at the same time, normally McDonald's is a starting job. It's a job
If the tip,
that-
like I said, if the tips go to the people, and I know that, I will tip. I don't have a problem with that. It's do we know that? And I think the company should more, if they want to promote it or go about it well, like assure to the customer that like, hey, the tips do go to the workers, and I'll be more than glad to tip a worker that's there for 8 hours making $8 an hour, $10 an hour. Like, of course, I'll give $3 every time. Like, to me, it's not a big deal. Yeah, I'm like, for me personally, some people get McDonald's, and I've been in that situation where that's the only thing I could afford. I could only afford fucking, at that time, 10 years ago, when it was only $1 menu, that would feed me for a few hours, So I understand all of it across the board. I never criticize. But if you're going to a restaurant, I don't have, there's no excuse for me personally. There's no excuse for you to not tip. If you're going there spending $50 to $100, you could spare the extra $5 or $10, because then you shouldn't be going out. You shouldn't be eating at a restaurant. Breeze made me a better tipper in that way, not because I was a bad tipper, only because she made me understand what goes into it, how to do it. And now I'm bare minimum 20. The other day I went out to a local bar in Pompano, and I try to, give back to the community in that way, where it's like a local spot. This lady was awesome. The tab was $34. I drank there for 3 hours. $34 for 3 hours of drinking. I tipped her basically double of what I should have, because it was like no brainer.
Yeah, service
my tab is that
influences the
low.
tip.
She's the only bartender in the whole place serving a whole bar of crazy people. Like, of course I'm going to do that. That's dumb as fuck. Why wouldn't I? That's basically the difference of ordering an extra beer or two. Like, why wouldn't you do that, you idiot?
Yeah, there was a video that we saw today. Both of us saw today. I saw it. You commented on it about dude that paid $16 for some McDonald's and fries. I'm gonna share it just because we're a visual podcast. I thought it was pretty funny. You said,
Do you have it pulled up now? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got it pulled up. You said got to use the
McDonald's.
app, which is true.
So I get there's a labor shortage. I get there's wage increases and a number of other things, but $16 for a burger,
That's-
a large fry, and a drink. It's just crazy. McDonald's.
Look, I don't know where he's at. I can't see it on the receipt, but I haven't paid that much. And with the app, I'll get
Bro,
like
with the
2
app?
sandwiches, fries, and a drink for like $10.
Bro, I looked at that, and they always have on the app for listeners that don't know. We will say it.
25% off.
I will promote it on the app every single day. The McDonald's app, out of everything I have the Raising Cane's app that don't give rewards. Bree just downloaded the Burger King and the Taco Bell because that's what she likes. But the McDonald's app, I get McDonald's once a week, if not once every 2 weeks. And I live or die by this app because
The app is legit.
it's the best app ever because right now I'll read you the deals that they're offering every single day to every person. I don't get special deals because I order a certain amount. Right now I do have 5,725 points. I've been doing damage lately.
Dude,
but
that's nothing. Mike's got like over 100,000 points. Though.
yeah, but they expire, so you got to use them. So
They
it's
do,
not.
they do,
It
yeah.
doesn't benefit
The
you
only
from
thing-
keeping it.
The only thing that I don't like about McDonald's is you can only use one, which is fair. It makes sense.
Yes, it is fair.
But
Come
you
on,
can only
can't be
use the one.
tripling up.
You can't. Yeah, you can only use one coupon per order. So it's
So
fair.
for
It makes
right-
sense.
Right now, for example, that person paid $16, and maybe that person doesn't know about the app, but the app is available in every state in America. At least that's what I know.
Yeah.
Right now, you
For
can get a 29-cent double cheeseburger or a 6-piece nugget when you buy one. That means you could buy a 6-piece and a double cheeseburger. It'll probably cost you fucking $3-4. 40% off 10-piece nugget. Buy one breakfast sandwich, get one for $0.01. 25% off of any purchase over $1. So basically 20, and these are offers
Any order.
$2 large fries. And this is every day. They change it up. The best deal they have is buy one and get one for 25 cents or something. So you could get what that person ordered was a quarter pounder. You get a quarter pounder, you get a 10-piece nugget, and combined you'll pay $5. Like, come on, be smart. In these days, bro, I'm telling you, in our household, I kind of run the coupons and the buy one and all the apps to make sure that we save the most amount of money. I need to save money because we go food shopping for 2 people, and that shit costs hundreds of dollars for 2 human beings to eat for 2 to 3 weeks. And we're obviously home a lot, so we eat and prepare our own meals, so it's going to cost a lot, or not cost a lot, but people don't factor when you work at a job, right? What do? You go to a job, you buy breakfast. You also buy lunch. You come home, you might prepare, or you might be too tired and you order in. So that day, you're not realizing it costs you $50, but like 10 here, 5 here, 20 here. You're looking at $50 a day. When you buy groceries at one large sum, it looks like a lot, but over the span of 2-3 weeks, when you divide the meals by every day, 3 meals a day, it's really not that much. So go food shopping, shop at Sam's Club, shop at Costco, be smart, use the McDonald's app if you like McDonald's.
Yeah,
Any
use the
last thoughts
apps.
on that before we move on?
Alex Pica said when the supermarkets try to get you with the charities, one of my jobs does that. They got real specific with it. They used to say, "Hey, do you want to round up to the next dollar for charity?" That's
Yeah,
what
I'll
they
do
used to
that.
say.
I like that.
But now they got real specific with it. It used to be, "Do you want to round up to help support homeless and abused women?" It's like, yo,
Okay.
And I'll fuck with
Whoa.
people sometimes. I'll see
I'm
them
over
hit.
here.
No,
I'm buying a loaf of bread. Jesus Christ, I wasn't ready for all this social change.
If my total is like over, if it's like $3.74, yeah, I'll round up to the next dollar because it's 26 cents.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do with 26 cents? But if it's under the 50 cents, I might not do it. It depends. It depends what kind of mood I'm in. Because I'll be like, yo, I'm abused. I'm the fucking charity here. You know.
I feel you, brother.
But they got real specific with it.
Let's wrap up episode 101 with some, quick news in sports. We saved sports for last. I love this episode first and foremost. Thank you for everybody for commenting, joining us live. Tell your friends, continue to join us live, whether it's for, 1 minute or 5. Like, I love the interaction we have with people because we weren't able to get to the topics that we have. And that's what I want our podcast to be. I don't want to have to rely on the topics that we have saved. I like live in the moment conversation. So we have topics just as a backup to keep the episode flowing and going. But NFL, we had Dolphins lose in Germany. The Dolphins are now 0-3 versus the playoff teams, good playoff teams. They haven't beaten a quality team in a year and a half. Quickly, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, we haven't beaten a team with a winning record in I think it's like 407 days now. It kind of sucks. I'm not entirely worried about it. The game against the Bills was ass. We lost by 28. Somehow, for whatever reason, whenever we play the Bills, it's trash. I don't know what gets it into us. That Philly game, I was there. I'm not going to make excuses about the refs, about the penalties. Yeah, there were certain penalties that changed the whole momentum of the game, and that's huge. It's not really about the penalties. It's about when they're called. We could have played better. Yesterday against, big time 3, killing the Lakers. Yesterday against the Chiefs, we just started off flat, man. We can't start games. Our offense is way too fast, way too explosive. At this point in the season, this offense has been together this is our second year now. There shouldn't be these moments where we have these, still like pre-snap penalties, false starts, just shitty ass timeouts. We shouldn't have miscommunications in late game situations like there was yesterday. We've had fucking just a shuffling deck of offensive linemen all year. I get it, man. It's not good with the center and quarterback. That's a huge connection. I get it. I understand. But they're professionals. You get paid to do a job. Same with the coaches, same with the players. I don't want to say who do you put the blame on. I don't want to blame anybody. Defense looked good. Defense looked really good. Everyone's finally getting healthy. Our corners are healthy. Our safeties are healthy. But there has to be a point where both sides of the ball have to operate fully. And I feel like we get games where our offense is really good, but our defense is stagnant. We get games where our defense is really good and our offense lacks, which was yesterday. Yeah, there was calls here and there that could have gone either way. Was a Tyreek fumble a fumble? Was it not? It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. Just we have a bye week. We're gonna get Achan back off the IR. That's gonna help us a lot. He's a huge part of our offense. He's explosive. He changes the dynamic of the game in any way. But I can't remember the last time I saw a Dolphins game that was just good on both sides of the football, and I wasn't worried about it. Maybe the Broncos game, but again, that's a team with a losing record. That's a team that's struggling. That's a team that's not going to make noise.
And since your game, they played better too.
Yeah, they beat the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs last week.
So let me charge mine.
But
keep talking. Let me charge mine.
It's just, I feel like we're going to hit that stride. I hope we hit that stride. We got the Raiders off the bye week after the bye week. Then we got the Jets. Jets are tough. Their defense is good, but we play them on Black Friday. I just don't know, man. I really don't know, because there's going to be a time, hopefully, we make the playoffs. I think we win the division, hopefully, but there's going to be a time where we're going to have to beat these good teams. We're probably going to see the Chiefs again later on, whether it's
or a good team
in the AFC. We're going to see a good team, because I think we're good enough to make the playoffs. I know we're good enough to make the playoffs.
Yeah, so, you're still first in the East, which is important.
We have to win
your division.
That's number one. Get a home playoff game and possibly get a bye, but you have to win those games against the good teams. Not just for you and a team to make you feel better, but just to get everyone off your back. That's our biggest thing right now as a team. That's our biggest team as a franchise. Oh, they're very flashy. They look good. They do a lot of good things, but when they play against good teams, they don't play well. And I'm not going to be on Twitter bitching about the refs. I'm not going to be on Twitter doing this, because it's just not a good look. It's really not a good look, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of Dolphins fans fucking bitching and complaining. Bro, we haven't had a playoff win in 20-plus years. We have a franchise quarterback. We have a good offense. We have a fucking great head coach that anybody in the league would fight for, would fucking go out and die for it. This dude's a baller. So all these fucking bullshit. You still believe in Tua. You still believe in Mike McDaniel. You still believe in this. Shut the fuck up. Please, just shut the fuck up. Enjoy what you have. Live in the moment. And go from there. Because this is stuff that doesn't come often. And we have to fucking be grateful for it. I think we get a playoff win this year. I hope so. There's the thing with the Dolphins is very minimal. It's little tweaks here and there that you have to fix. Our fucking D-line is awesome. Our corners are awesome. Fucking quarterback is great, man. We got great playmakers. We just got to gel it all together, and I think our bye week came at a perfect time. Shit, 9 games into the season, we're 6-3. You told me that those 3 losses would be against the Bills in Buffalo, against Philadelphia in Philadelphia, and against the Chiefs in Germany. I'm buying that at the beginning of the year all day long, twice on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, I don't just keep winning games. We got a good streak against not so great teams, and then we play the Cowboys on Christmas Eve. So
clean it up, get back in the lab. I think you guys need a refresher. Obviously, you guys got hyped very early in the season, which goes to anybody's head. And sometimes you need a couple losses, and you're glad the couple losses are after you win 6 games. And, you still got, in this season where you got 17 games total. So you got 11 games more, 9 games more. You're fine. You're going to play your division a few more times. You're going to probably beat up on a couple more teams. You have a mix of, oh my God, Bucks are killing that. So you have a mixed bag of, playing poor teams, and then you got playing very good teams. So hopefully you guys improve. The Giants,
so we got the bye. We got the bye. We got the Raiders, Commanders, Jets in New York. Then we got, no, sorry, I'm tripping. Raiders, Jets, Commanders, Titans at home, Jets back at home, and then we got the Cowboys on Christmas Eve. And then after the Cowboys game, Ravens, that's going to be a tough game in Baltimore, and then we got the Bills at home. So that's 7 games left. 5-2 I'm cool with. You're 11-6. You're 12-5.
Yeah, 11-5 solid. Hopefully you can make that.
Because it's 17 games. So 11-6, 12-5. I'm cool. That's a playoff berth.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. Like I said, the Giants, Daniel Jones. I'm wearing my Daniel Jones Danny Dimes because we have him signed for 2 years. He has 1 year under club control, paying him $40 million, and then we could drop him after next year. We're gonna have a top 4 pick. We lost Raiders, with our former linebacker, Super Bowl champion Antonio Pierce, leading them as they should celebrate and recalibrate the Raiders. I never hate on the Raiders. I kind of low-key like them as a franchise and a vibe. But the Giants season's over. We're looking towards the draft. I hope they're competitive, but they don't win another game, because I hate to – if we get a number 8 pick in the draft, I'll be so mad. We need a top 5, top 4 pick at this point, with us losing. Real quick, because we're wrapping it up, what did you feel about DAMAR HAMLIN returning back to Cincinnati Bengals? I thought it was a media grab. I thought it was a headline grab. They milked it too much. The game was so close. It was a touchdown away, and they're showing DAMAR HAMLIN on the sideline. I get it. To do the to do the pregame with him is cool, but to show him every quarter like they were showing like Taylor Swift for a Kansas City game, it was too much. I get it. He almost lost his life, and it was emotional, but we don't have to show him every quarter. We don't have to talk about it. We don't have to go. Let's get over it. I get it, media-wise and coverage-wise. I made sure at one point that, I turned the game on at 8 o'clock, Sunday Night Football, and they were talking about DAMAR HAMLIN, and maybe I'm a hater. You call me what you want. I turned the channel. I didn't want them to get my rating of watching that part of the game because, first of all, I think every pregame on national TV is bullshit. It's way too much. It's way too marketing towards the person that doesn't care about football. It's more about, oh, my God, a sob. It's always a sob story. It's always personal. What do you think about DAMAR HAMLIN returning back to Cincinnati and how the media covered it?
So I think him this moment when he almost lost his life on the football field was the best thing to happen to him for his football career, because
Blunt.
the guy's not that great. There's a reason that he's not playing. There's a
The reason why he hasn't got cut.
Because if you cut him, you look bad as an organization after everything he went through, after all the fans that donated.
I don't think so.
Bengals
I
fans.
personally think if they cut him, I don't think the Bills are a bad organization. It's like,
I don't think they're a
business.
bad organization, but they're going to look bad in the media. People are
he's
going
not
to
going
be
to
like,
have a job after.
This guy like almost lost his life while being employed by you, and you're going to let go of him. That's fucked up, type shit. But it's redundant, bro. I thought we finished this last year. I thought we were over and done with it. And this guy's on the sidelines. He's got his foot up, like chilling, like he's sitting on the couch on the bench. He's just having the time of his life. And like you said, they keep showing it over and over. And then there was a video of him after the game near the spot where it happened. And he's like on FaceTime with whoever it was. I don't know, maybe his mom or his sister. It was some lady he was on FaceTime with. But he's not playing, bro. He hasn't played since week 4 against the Dolphins. And the only reason he played was because everyone else on the Bills was hurt. He's still the favorite for comeback player of the year. How are you comeback player of the year when you haven't done anything? You haven't done anything. Yeah. You haven't played. You haven't got a pick. You haven't got a pick 6. You haven't done anything to change the outcome of how your team is playing in the season. Your team's struggling on defense, but you're not playing. If a team is struggling that bad on defense, you don't think that if you're good enough, you're gonna get some PT, you're gonna get some playing time. There's a reason he's not playing.
Yeah.
And it's not because he almost died, because he's good. If he's able to walk on the field and be in the field and be in front of 60,000 screaming people, 70,000 screaming people in that atmosphere, that's already half the battle. That's already half the job. You're going to get more chills and more adrenaline and more whatever running down your spine in front of those people than you are playing. Once you're on the field, once you're playing, it's over and done with. That's what you know. That's what you're used to. You go out there and play football. You already know the game. You already know your playbook. So I'm over it, man. I'm over it. He's not good. I hate to say it. He's not good. He's not an NFL player. Maybe on another team. Who knows? But they soaked it up. They soaked it up. It's tiring, bro. It's I don't know.
All good. Other news, Aaron Rodgers is a phenomenon, pro anti-vax, not getting, he's 2 months into his recovery and already doing step backs and warm-ups, not intense, but the fact that he's 2 months on the field throwing passes, people were like, oh, he's just throwing the ball. No, he's stepping back. He's stepping back with a lead foot, not heavy. But the fact that 2 months in, whether he returns this year or not, going into next year, he's going to be 100%. So shout out Aaron Rodgers. Shout out the Texas Rangers winning their first World Series, lowest rating World Series in years.
Yeah.
And the
That's tough.
Yes, let's go Panthers. They just scored empty net with 2 minutes to go. Come on, 4-4. God damn, I was stressing that real quick while you were talking about fucking. Let's go. Let's wrap this up. Because I got to watch this overtime. Hopefully it goes to overtime. Volpe of the Yankees, rookie shortstop, wins Gold Glove, which is a great. He was a rookie from day one. He played in all
That's
the games.
how you say it, Volpe?
Volpe, yeah, Anthony Volpe.
I thought it was Volpe.
Nope, New York City, New Jersey product. Shout out him for winning the Gold Glove at his position in the AL. Let's see. The Bear, which is a popular show on Hulu, will be renewed for season 3. I'm excited about that. If you didn't watch The Bear, it's a great cooking drama. Have you watched it?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, watch it on Hulu. It's a great show
to watch it.
Definitely, it's worth it. I'm telling you, it's a quality show, quality acting, and also it from people that have worked in the kitchen and in a restaurant. It's pretty realistic. So I thought it was real. Shout out Matt Spicone. Birthday was on Friday.
Happy
had a great
birthday, my
weekend
boy.
with him. Yes, sir. He was on the podcast last week. Shout out AP. His birthday's today, Monday. All the love, sending you all the love right here for at a distance, he came through for my birthday in September, and he's one of my closest friends. So hope you're doing well, and hope you enjoy your day and your week today. That's all I have on my end. Wrap it up on your end, and let me watch the end of this Panthers, and then we got the Nets going on. We got Monday Night Football. You can wrap it up. You wrap up.
I got two
episode
shout-outs.
101.
We talked about this quarterback a few episodes ago when I was down in South Florida. A quick shout out CJ Stroud, man. This fucking kid is balling, bro. He's balling out of his mind. He's just putting up crazy numbers as a rookie. He's got 1 interception all year. He let it come back with 46 seconds. He's doing NFL vet type shit. I hope to see his career keep growing. Definitely going to try and draft him next year. Shout out Callum Champagne. It's his birthday today. Best defender in soccer. I don't even know what fucking team he's on now. He was on Miami, but he got loaned out. But that's Charlie's boy. England's finest. So shout out Callum. Hope you have a good day, my dog. Need you on the pod soon. You said you wanted to be on. I've texted you. You haven't texted me back, bro. You ghosted me, dog. That's messed up. I'm not one of your little bitches.
He's busy.
Bro.
He's busy.
Hit me back up. Let's get you on the pod, dog. But yeah, that's all I got, man.
Cool. Love it. Appreciate all the love. Appreciate Broward Vintage stopping by late, locking in, giving us some Panthers updates. Shout out Fort Sama Elvis Escobar for being so awesome. Yeah, definitely. As we wrap out, Broward Vintage, hit the link tree, the links, posting every single day, new merchandise as you get fresh. Great deals. I'm telling you, he's very negotiable on pricing, and you could get something that, whether it's a vintage jersey or something, if you're a dude, or if you're a female, and get some dope clothes. Every day we post an array of different items. So I see it every day as we post. Definitely something that if you're looking for a rare item, or you're just looking for a deal on some he has a lot of True Religion. I'm not into True Religion jeans, but there's somebody that loves that.
Go click the link, man. All this vintage stuff before you go on whatever sites you go on to buy vintage stuff. Go check out Broward Vintage, because probably more than not they're gonna have what you're looking for. And if if you're lazy enough and you don't want to search through it, just hit a DM and be like, "Hey, do you have this? Hey, do you have that?" And
or you could sell them some stuff if you have some vintage clothing that you have that you want to get rid of. Instead of throwing it on Let Go or on eBay yourself, you could sell it to him. He'll buy it for you for a solid amount and maybe give you the profits. I don't know how negotiable he is, but hey, DM him at Broward Vintage on Instagram, and he'll or DM us, and we'll get you hooked up. If you have some clothes, some items, it's not about only clothes. He, any items you could throw on eBay as well. And he has like a 99.8% customer service thing that goes a long way when you're trying to sell some stuff. So that's episode 101. Shout out you. I'm about to watch some sports that are getting into late stages of the games. But that's it. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Enter the lab. Elvis Escobar, Ford Sama, exit the lab. Peace.
Let's get it. Fuck FSU. It's FSU hate week. Fuck FSU. Let's go Canes, baby.